Paragon 100, and then Reaper of Souls came out, and I, got some placings. I was like top 20, top 30 for my class. Nothing too crazy, but I did all
You
right.
must have come here a lot with
I
Cordova.
probably put
No.
collectively 2,000
Actually, he
3,000
never
hours
did.
into the game. So here
He
we
did
go.
tell
Here's
me
the
about it.
gameplay overview. We're gonna
I
watch
was the
this
only
see
one
more
who knew of
Diablo
its
4.
location.
I'll say again,
He trusted you.
the
I
aesthetics and
suppose he
graphics
did.
for the game
He trusted
look
I'd believe
really
him
good.
and
I
finish what he
really
started.
like the aesthetics and the
Hopefully he was
graphics
right.
of Diablo 4.
BD1
My
thinks so.
concern with the game
This one bright
is
droid.
actually not even about the cash shop. I don't care if Diablo
BD1,
4 is pay to win.
keep an eye on
I care
Catherine's.
if it's good. And that's what I'm worried about. It's the next generation of action RPG. Building, monster slaying, people like fully realize the world. This looks great. Material, I guess.
All right. So next,
I really like that. That's cool. The little scythe. Obviously, that's the character select. This looks cool. I think so too. I'm glad they're adding this. I think that with Diablo Immortal, they did a really good job with that too. Credit where credit's due. The Diablo Immortal character customization was above par for any other Blizzard game prior. It's the best character customization it had.
Dathomir? Really? Okay. Setting course for Wait a minute. You want to go to Dathomir?
I'm surprised Cordova went there. It must have had good reason.
I am staying put on the Manus once we arrive. Red sunlight cannot be good for your skin.
This place used to be home to a powerful cabal of Force wielders known as the Night Sisters.
They use the Force? What, the Jedi?
No. These witches served only themselves. Their powers focused on deception,
That looks
illusion,
cool.
and manipulation.
Sounds like someone I used to know.
During the Clone Wars, the Night Sisters made a deal with a Sith Lord who betrayed their trust. In the end, they were nearly wiped out in a massacre. Dathomir is a deadly place. We should be careful.
Don't have to tell me
I
twice.
like that, yeah.
Coming up on our creepy destination. Grab some seed cake.
They have these, these are effectively kind of world quests or same thing with a lot of games have this. I think that's good. Their fates, yeah, etc. I think that at this
Val,
point,
be careful here.
it's, yeah, public events.
This
These
is
aren't
a deadly,
really,
dangerous place.
like, innovative, but I think that people said, like, not everything has to be innovative. Sometimes things are just good, and so, like, everybody uses them. That's kind of the way
prepare
that
to
I
face
feel about
anything.
this.
I know
Where
you
it's
are,
like,
Cal.
everybody uses this
One of the
kind
many
of user
reasons BD1
people
trusted you
it's
with
good.
Cordova's
I'm
information.
fine with that. Yeah, it's
We're
still
lucky
good
to
for the
have
game.
you.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about the Night Sisters of Dathomir?
I knew of them. Many Jedi weren't even aware of their existence, but being Cordova's apprentice came with some unique insight. He always thought they were interesting, as he did with most ancient
My
cultures.
expectation
And what did
for
you
world
think?
bosses is
I
that
never
none of
came
them
here.
are hard.
I never wanted to.
It's like,
As I recall,
I
that
don't
was
really
about the
think that
time the two of us
they're
began
going to
going our
effectively be
separate
target
ways.
dummies.
The
The
darkness
same thing
always
happens
has an
with
effect,
like
one
Lost
way or
Ark.
another.
Like, I mean, the closest thing we got to that not being the case was like Moke, you know? Where Moke was a big cock in the ass because he would just reset over and over and people were under-geared. But other than that, it was just all kind of the same. It's just their target methods, basically, and to be honest. And it's the same thing as WoW, too. Like, it's all the same. I completely agree with both cross-play is really good. And in my opinion, I think now, if a game is available on PC and Xbox, it should be playable with people interchangeably between PC and Xbox.
Good thing we weren't
The only
standing there.
difference is whenever there's like a big... Oh, I thought I got banned again. So anyway, I think that's cool, like having the shared world. I know that there are some Diablo players that don't want to share
Counting
the
it
world.
being friendly.
I think it's way cooler. I think it's way cooler, way more interesting, way more dynamic. It makes you feel like you're part of the loop of the game. It's one of the things, one of the only things that I think like PoE does not do well is you don't get a chance to see as many other people in the world. So yeah, I really like that. I think crossplay is also it should be a good. That's really important. I like that a lot. That's great.
Quick, help! BD what?
So it's like the bounty system in WoW. See, this part right here is what really matters. Is that like those systems, like the Loot Pinata system, full Loot PvP? No, they're not going to do that. Forced PvP. I think they're probably going to have. Like my opinion is that like you could probably look at a lot of the systems in like Legion to Shadowlands and get a good indicator of like what these community features are going to look like. Because that's Blizzard's other effectively open world game. So that's going to be the game that they're mainly going to be talking about and comparing to. You see kind of what I'm saying? Yeah, it's opt-in zone, stuff like that. It'll make it perfect opt-in. Okay, yeah. And so it's going to be like those little zones in like Blackrock Gold, stuff like that, where you can go into this little arena or something like that. It's very small. Share world. Well, if it does, we'll talk about that in a lot.
Every single time you come back to play Diablo 4, there's going to be new stuff for you to experience.
I'm really excited. Mainly, just to see millions of people enjoying different options.
Hey,
We are so close. So that's the trailer. This is cool. I like the I like the story of Diablo 4. I find it to be like modern, compelling. I think it's okay. So let's go ahead and look at the Necromancer podcast as well. So what story? Well, I like the idea of
Help! BD1!
I find it to be really interesting whenever people write stories that is mythology. I find it very interesting whenever that happens because oftentimes there are like kind of commonalities in themselves, and then they become more pronounced throughout the story. So I like that. Okay, here we go. Let's watch the Necromancer trailer.
Find something?
I might actually play a Necromancer. instead of barbarians.
Some help here, BD1?
I like that. That's cool. That was cool.
I'm pretty hurt.
So the trailer is pretty good. I mean, like, I wish that there was more actual gameplay, right, to see what the character does. But yeah, I think the trailer is interesting. It's cool. Yeah, definitely. That was absolutely cool. And it's yeah. I mean, like Path of Exile, I played Necromancer for like maybe 4 or 5 weeks. So, or like I played Element and fucking what do you call it? Like Golemancers too, right? Which is basically Necromancer. In a way, right, in terms of the gameplay. And so, like, yeah, I like this gameplay a lot. I find it very interesting. So, yeah, I like it a lot. Now that we looked at the trailers, and we talked a little bit about that, I want to go through and I want to talk a little bit more about kind of how I feel about the game and, in general, kind of where I see it going. Now, overall, I think the big problem with Diablo 3 and the main issue that it had was not that it released it as a like an unfinished game. It's that it never really got a lot of meaningful updates post-launch. So what I mean by that is that if you played Diablo, like let's say 5 months after the game came out, and then you played
How are you feeling,
Diablo
BD1?
5 months before Reaper of Souls came out,
I'm glad.
you were effectively playing the exact same game.
What's that, BD1?
There was no real meaningful content that was introduced that changed the experience of a player. There was no extra content to do. So that's probably the worst thing that Blizzard has had as a developer in general. I think that what they do is they release a game, and the game is in a relatively decent state, but the end game for these games lacks a substantial level of depth. So, like for example, in like let's say Diablo 3 or Souls, what really is the end game of Diablo 3 or Souls? You go through the campaign, which is effectively a formality. Then you go through different torment rifts, and then you do greater rifts. That's about it, right? Did I miss anything? Oh, you do bounties too. That's right. Yeah, you do bounties. You get that ring. I don't know, ring in Act 1 or something like that. Yeah. So that's basically it. That's the whole game. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's just bad. It's bad. Like straight up. Am I crazy? Like, am I absolutely crazy? Like that's bad. It's the same exact content every single time you do it, and there's nothing that's dynamic to do about it at all. And if the world will be different, well then why wasn't the world why would you think that? Well, like, why? Like, there's literally, there's no, as I said, there's like, 2 points make a line. A line goes in a direction. We've got 5 points, and they're all going the same way. How can you possibly imagine that? It's not an MMO. Neither was Diablo 3. And so anyway, here's really like the ultimate opinion that I have about gaming, is that I do not like. It's a situation of fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, don't get fooled.
Well done.
It's not that I don't want to play Diablo 4. It's that I don't want to get excited about it because of what's happened with Diablo 3, Diablo 3
I need to use this.
Diablo Immortal, Shadowlands, and Overwatch. Every single game has had the same problem, where it gets released in a position where
Something
it's
we can use?
workable. The problems in the game are solved with way too much time required to do so. Then they finally get solved, and then nothing happens after that. There's no real growth of the game. And a good way to look at it is that when did Reaper of Souls get released? It was 2016, am I right? 2016. So the game's been out for 6 years. Let's say 2014.
Looks like the Zeppo were here.
So here's a good question that I could ask a lot of people.
This place seems abandoned, but
How much content has been added to Reaper of Souls between 2014 and now?
You
And
trespass.
how much content has
Jedi.
been added into
you must be a
Path
Night
of
Sister.
Exile between
I had heard you were all dead.
Not all.
now? Whenever Blizzard is talking
Dathomir
about
is
how they're
forbidden to
going
you.
to
Leave at
continue
once.
to
Well, I'm afraid I can't do that, but perhaps we could help each other. You see,
and like
Easy.
they cut their last
I'm not your enemy.
Your actions say otherwise.
Wait, hold on. I'm not here.
right now, I'm talking about people not games. They literally said that you can't have a game like Diablo without having to treat it like this. Because people is not Diablo has to have a function of time. Also, the fact is that every game on the market
I'll get you!
they're the ones that aren't up
Try me, Jedi!
Not and so, like, yeah, they said, yeah, they literally said, what my concern
Have a
about
chance.
Diablo is that I think I'm going to have a tremendous, great time playing Diablo 4 for about a year. And that's what happened with Shadowlands, and that's what happened with BFA. And I think that the problem that Blizzard has had with a lot of their products is that the end game of their products completely lacks depth outside of replayability. Like, there's no real replayability in doing a rift 35 times. So if you want to look at it from a comparison, so like let's say, let's just do this, right? Let me go back over here, and I want to talk about and express this problem, okay? Elements of variability that exist inside rifts versus PoE maps, okay? So right here we're going to have Diablo. Let's just look at Diablo Immortal or Diablo Immortal. We'll combine Diablo Immortal and Diablo. So you have epics, right? So there are epics in Diablo Immortal. Diablo Immortal does have different bosses, which, to be fair, all of the end bosses of Diablo are story bosses that do the same thing. Yeah, there's like there's like 55. There's the Bat Shaman, the Skinny Shaman,
Get some help.
the Yorick, the Girl, the Vampire Girl, Paul, or Vale, excuse me. The Snake, the Snake.
Store's not budging.
Sultan Pool, yep, you got that, that's true. I think that's about it. So it's probably less than 10. Like, let's assume that I missed one, right? I think that's fair to assume that I missed one. So there's basically 8 different, let's say there's 10 total bosses, all of them in Diablo Immortal. So basically, if you look at the game activities that your character can go up against a challenging foe, you are going up against the same 10 NPCs that you killed throughout the story. I don't know, man. There's 18 bosses in Diablo 3. Okay, sure, we'll go with 18. Yeah, sure, 18 total bosses. And how many were there on launch? And how many were there 1 year ago? Yeah. So that's kind of 10, I think, on launch. And so that's what my problem with the game is. The Barrel of Lost Ark. Lost Ark is a phone. But yeah, I would compare it with Lost Ark as well. Compare it to good garbage, comparing an abandoned game to a live game. Why do you? So I find it to be so sad that so many people can be so delusional. So D3 is a live game. How can so many people be so delusional to think that they're actually going to continuously develop a game like this beyond launch? Like, how much of this not going to be in the plus? That is what happens. And that's basically every season. Literally notorious for effectively letting people see a game and just saying, alright, well, we're done.
Time for a stim. Little help.
Inspired by Diablo 2, but not Diablo 3. Let me ask you a question. The people that are working on Diablo Reaper of Souls right now, how much do you want to bet they're the same people that are working on Diablo 4? So, this is really the reality, is that you're looking at these same people. That's all there is, it's the same people. And so, PoE, players of modern mechanics, no, yes, you're exactly right, they actually aren't. Are there people in here that actually think that Diablo 4 is going to be any different than literally every single live game that Blizzard's released in the past 10 years? I want to take a look at something that somebody said today. Somebody linked me Adam's post today. Somebody linked me Adam's post. There's a mod that can do that for me. And it's one of the community guys for Diablo. And I want to talk a little bit about this. And as my lucky cope, please, no, nobody's coping today. I'm going to be. It's under Microsoft Lead, so it may be different. No, it's not. The game is probably 60% made. Microsoft doesn't even own the company yet. I don't even think the merger has even been, the acquisition has even been fully approved by the government. Like, what? It's like, yeah, there's more copium here, I swear to God. It's like a fucking overdose. Okay. So we have two statements. So, this is basically what Adam and also Roddy PlayStation, Xbox audiences will be used.
Can I get some help?
Content after the launch and for years to come, anchored around optional cosmetic items and full stories and expansions. More details soon, and more blog tomorrow. Core is coming out as a full-price game built strictly for PC console audiences. You can see the terms of content after launch for all players, main content to go from optional cosmetic items to full expansions. So what did these two statements tell me? These two statements tell me that this is a PR, that this is something that you're supposed to say in PR. This is a PR statement that's being repeated by multiple people on the team. They're the same words. So what does this mean? The game is huge. Paid content will be built around optional cosmetic items. So remember whenever Wyatt Chang said you wouldn't be able to buy gear in the Diablo Immortal? And that was a deliberately disingenuous statement to make. Because everybody knows that you can buy other things besides the gear that makes you more powerful. It was a deliberately misleading statement to make people think something is not true. It's literally that simple. And then on top of that, this is the same company that did the same type of language bullshit whenever they decided to pop in the money after the fucking Warcraft, the toys sold for the Blizzard, what was it called? They sold for the Blizzard. Fuck, I'm drawing a blank. Sorry, I'm very annoyed right now. They sold for the Blizzard AWC so for anybody who doesn't know this, basically Blizzard put out this thing, I should paraphrase it very quickly, is that Blizzard put out these toys, and you could buy them on the WoW store, and the money from the toys, 25% of the money made from the toys is going to go towards funding for the AWC, which is the Wizard Prize Pool, and also the MDI, which is the Mythic Plus Prize Pool in WoW. And Blizzard crafted the language around it so cleverly to imply that players would also like be added to the prize pool. But what Blizzard did is they effectively allowed the players to subsidize the prize pool, and instead of putting in the $500,000 base, they only put in a smaller amount because the players themselves had donated enough money to make it to where Blizzard wasn't able to pay for it. So I find this to be two different examples of Blizzard using deliberately subjective language in order to not only not make people think one thing, but to actively make them think something else. And here are some questions that I actually wrote down before I started on stream about this statement. Okay? So, built around is not an exclusionary statement, while it implies that things are out there like mental illnesses and pre-stated claim. So saying that something is built around
An
cosmetic
outsider not from this
items
planet.
does not mean that it will only be cosmetic items. Anchored around does not mean that it will only be cosmetic items. It just says that it's built around it. Now it implies this, but it does not say it. If they were going to say it, why wouldn't they just say it's only cosmetic items? They didn't say that. Do you think that a PR statement that's crafted and given to two separate employees to put out was not written with very specific intent? It's obvious why. Second thing. The second pet that was added to the Blizzard store was BOE. You could buy it from the store and sell it. BDO, my understanding, is that you're not able to buy gold, but you can buy cosmetics and sell them for gold. Remember that? Did they say that these cosmetics are BOE? No. They did not say this, they did not say it. So think about that. What do you think the odds are that some of these cosmetic items could be sellable? And if the cosmetic items are sellable, you can effectively buy gold. Is this fair? Is this a fair assumption to make? Since his name is lost on. Yes. Yes. And so here's what, and like, all right, so here, I'm going to make another MSP comment, okay? I want to explain kind of in general how I feel about it, okay? So this is basically a pie chart of the things that I'm worried about in Diablo 4. I am mainly worried about the game being bad. I'm not mainly worried about the game being pay to win. I'm worried about it just flat out being bad. It's got nothing to do with pay to win. It won't be pay to win. How can you listen to what I'm saying after being twice? Don't make me pull your fucking logs out of my main channel and scroll up to 2020 where you were pogged out of your fucking mind for Shadowlands or for some other bullshit, and then see this. They've already done it twice. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? I just want to go live on the channel. I had sleeping problems last fucking night. I had sleeping problems a lot. I'm stressed out about too many fucking people trying to talk to me. I'm fucking tired of it. And I needed a day to just chill. That's why. They had to fucking do this. So anyway, it's... So, here's basically what my concern is and what my expectation is. My concern and my expectation is that Diablo 4 will have cosmetic items, but the cosmetic items will not be the full extent of the store. And not only will they not be the full extent of the store, but they will also not be built. So that means that players will be able to trade and move those cosmetic items between themselves. And if the solution to that is to remove trade from an ARPG, I don't think that's a good idea. I would rather have to, like, that's what they basically did with Reaper of Souls. They said, we are so lazy, we are going to make gold do nothing. And we don't care about that anymore. And you're not going to be able to trade here. because we don't want to manage our own game. We're going to actively make the game worse because we're lazy. You see what I'm saying? MMOs need trade. Economy and D3? Yes, economy and D3. D3 didn't have trading? Yes, it did. How can you say that? How can you say that? I bought food because it had trade. They removed it. They removed the real money auction house, but they didn't remove. Yes, they removed all of it.
Glad you made it back in one
piece.
piece.
The trade items.
I need a second.
In my opinion, if the solution to people RMGing and trading items in a way that you dislike, the solution to that is to remove trading from the game, I don't think that's a good game. I think that you're just being a lazy and bad developer. Path of Exile doesn't do that. Path of Exile has open trading, and people RMG in Path of Exile. It's stupid, but it is what it is. And that's about it. Yeah, we should have trading. You should absolutely have trading. The reason why trading is so good, let me explain why trading is so good, is because let's say you are a barbarian, and you get a fucking Talrasha piece, and it's like the first beat in the league, and you can sell that piece of Talrasha gear because somebody's trying to get their 60s. But you can't fucking do that because it's bound to the character. And you can buy that and you can get a Bull Cathos item, or you can get an Immortal King set, or something like that. You can trade something, and let's say you have Exile, you can have your big grand goal. You want to get Bible Strings, you want to get Queenswood, you want to get Headhunter, you want to get something else like that. Oh my god. Am I offline again? Everything's fine? I was popping off too hard. I'm sorry. So yeah, anyway, this has been very frustrating for me to see. And the reason why, again, is because I see this kind of stuff happen. And I don't really know exactly what to do about this. I don't really think there is anything to do about it. But actually, you know what? Let me just stop and stuff. No, we want to talk about it again. Let me talk about like trading, what trading is real. I remember one of the main items that I wanted to get in Diablo-based Diablo 3 was two items. Like let's say the Echoing Fury and let's say the Witching Hour. Both of these items were just absolutely fucking insane. Echoing Fury, I remember I got one of those and I bought it for I think it was like 1.2 or 1.1 billion gold. And I spent a long time farming that. Like I farmed maybe like 100 or 200k every single day. After like 2 weeks of playing the game, I just kept popping off and I kept spending so much time with it. So check it out. Mods, just people are spending on that's it. No, it's only time for someone to drink months. It's only for 20 years. I got $40. But anyway, so that's basically where I was. I view being able to buy and sell items as an opportunity for players to create goals for themselves and work towards those goals. So, like, for example, there were a lot of people they farm one copy. They farm one copy. And and so, talking about that, I'm not sure. You don't have so yeah, in neighborhood trading, they keep grind going through the guidance. I don't care why. It doesn't matter to me why. It matters that it's bad. And that's all it comes down to. It's actually that show video. Funny fact. Blizzard was at this Twitter literally took the video down because I had a copyrighted song playing in the background. So I have to get it on my computer. But anyway, so I go and I do this, and I work towards this item for a very long period of time. And every day I can log on, and I know that I'm working towards something. And what I'm worried about is if you take out trading, you are no longer working towards anything. You're just rolling the dice over and over and over. I find that to be less fun. I don't enjoy that. Like, I think that sucks. I think it's garbage. I think it's straight up fucking garbage. It's not fun. It's not enjoyable. And with UE, even also, there are a lot of ways that you can work towards farming a specific item, even if you are in solo self-bound. But I don't play solo self-bound because I don't find that to be as fulfilling and enjoyable as an experience. Some people do, some people don't. I don't. So anyway, I think that trading is absolutely necessary. There's not going to be any item trading in Diablo 4 like there was in Diablo 3's base game. I think that you're just going to get people in this endless fucking treadmill of trying to refarm the same item with no real path in mind of success. There's no way that the person can succeed. Even if you have a piece of good character that's worth 3 years at exile, you can still have a goal because you know that goal is to get the ring. It's worth another, or some other item is worth let's say like 35 results or something.
We're Night Brothers.
So you always have to so like WoW is like items don't drop, there's no good items drop. So like if you can farm out the same and also without WoW. And the season 4 is literally going to get a vendor buy some of the baseline best items in the game if you get enough things. And you also have the Crucible as well that allows you to craft tier. So that's actually not even true. So anyway, what I'm getting at here is that let's see. And also this is another thing that's going to make Diablo 4 big win. And I wanted to talk about this.
You've made a mistake, Jedi.
You can't buy WoW Gold. Buy WoW Gold.
BD1? You missed him.
So even if they don't do any of this stuff, people will still be able to buy gold and WoW tokens and then trade it for Diablo 1. Straight up. Like, that's what's going to happen. And trading gold into plastic should not be punishable, to be honest. That's fine if you think that, but you can't say that and then also say so and that's what I'm saying, right? So these solutions is I don't and it's like, would I rather play a moderated game or would I rather play a unmoderated game?
Help! BD1!
Or would I rather play a game all of the pieces right? It's very simple.
Stim!
Entire experience of playing Diablo and
Everything okay, BD1?
Diablo Immortal as well.
Glad to hear it.
Is that
Oh, all right then.
everything that I see, the main way that you make progress is you just do the same content, but the boss does more damage and has higher health. That's it. There's not like new mechanics. There's nothing. Like you just do the same boss and it has more health. I mean, I'm sorry, like Lost Ark, that's not true. But that's like it's so disappointing because it's like WoW, well, that's been a big problem that WoW has had for many years. I think so. So basically, all of these things, I want to just kind of make a list of different things the player has to do in Path of Exile, like different challenges that scale up in difficulty that exist, right? So you have Uber Elder, Cirrus, Cortex, Shaper, Maven, Mel, who's the new guy? Yeah, that's always okay. Dell, but all skills as well. Someone from, let's see here, Eater of Worlds. That's Siri. Let's see, Siri, I'm sorry. Guardians. Let's see. And then you also have Elder Guardians. Let's see, Legion Commanders. Sorry, not Conquerors. Yeah, Conquerors. Four-way Legion. Yeah, 4 or 5-way Legion. Betrayal. What's her name? Your soul burns for me. Katarina. I actually got the classes from her, the perfect roll on it. Basically, I sold it for like 30x or something. Alba Temple. I don't. Here. Okay, so Breach Stones. Yeah, Pure Shayla. Alba Temple Crash. I think Light and Scales, Uber Lab, yeah. Okay, so, Uber Blight, I haven't done those yet, so I'm not sure. So, alright, Harvest Boss, yeah, Harvest Boss, Oranchu, whatever. Ushabi. Something like that, alright. Well, let's just stop right here, okay? So these are all challenges that exist, except for Oval doesn't really count for that because it's fighting different levels. And at Ziri, kinda. You have to reach a certain power level to fight. You have to reach a certain power level to fight your element. You have to reach a certain power level to fight element. You have to reach a certain power level to fight Sirius. And every single one, Shaper. Shaper is level 55. There's 84 and 55. There's not a level 61 version of Shaper. There's not a level 89 version of Shaper. Unless you want to include Feared or something like that, right? Which are like these combo challenges or meta challenges. Basically, these challenges exist in the game as baseline measurements for progression. And Diablo doesn't have that. It didn't have that in Diablo 3. It didn't have that in Reaper of Souls. It doesn't really seem to have that in Diablo Immortal as far as I can see. And why would I think they're going to have it in Diablo 4? That's the main problem that Blizzard has. Is that they're too afraid to make content that isn't something that every single player in the game that has a pulse, and even that, let's be honest, that's debatable, can complete. I'm absolutely furious about this. I'm furious about this because I love Diablo, and this is what's happening. And also, let's look at Lost Ark, okay? And these are also all challenges that effectively exist on a baseline. So, baselines. Argos, Valton, Belganos, just all other Guardians. Right? Let's just say, we'll just do Guardians in general, right? Vikings. Let's see now, and right now, Hour. More Guardians, Abyss Dungeons. No, I would consider that, Hour is different. Let's see, Puckle Satan. So all of these, and Towers are another one, it's very easy. And also, like, yeah, a con coming soon. All of these challenges are challenges in Lost Ark that exist at one baseline. You have to meet a baseline in order to overcome this challenge. And you use overcoming Vaulting to overcome Vicus. You use overcoming Vicus to overcome Capital Sidon, and then Belshazzar. You understand how this is a progression system? These games have progression systems. Diablo has a repetition system. That's what they do. Overcome by progress and real money. Yes. And that's probably the biggest and worst thing about Lost Ark is spend money and gain advantage. I'm not going to defend that because it's bad. Why would anybody say that? Why would anybody think that's a good thing? Of course it's not good. Diablo bosses are also so easy. Yes, and also, like, how many mechanics do the Diablo bosses have? Let's go ahead and let's look. Diablo 3 Greater Rift 150. Let's see here. So let's go ahead and just watch this. This is from 2 years ago. I'm mute the audio here. So let's see how many mechanics this boss has. Okay, here we go. So here's what the boss does. It does a breath, and it shoots bombs, and it shoots like 3 fireballs, right? And it puts that fire thing on the ground. It did 1 melee and almost 1 shot. That's it. That's the extent of a boss. Isn't that great? The angels code, yeah. Let's see if I can figure out something else here. World first. Okay, this is the world first. Whatever one. So let's just go ahead. Forward bit. Okay, here we go. Here's the boss. There's a whirlwind. It's been a long time. Yeah, there's some fire there. That's it. That's the entire, those are all of the mechanics of the boss. It's actually quite hard. What do you think is harder, that or Vaulting? What do you think is better, that or Vaulting? Like, and also, like, compare this to Cirrus. So, like, I'll go ahead and we'll just look at, let's Cirrus. So let's go ahead. We're just gonna look at this fight, right? Now, obviously, like, more damage makes this easier. So basically, he does this little thing. He does that on the ground. So you have to run in and fight him. Obviously, whenever you're running in, you have to avoid these purple things. These things explode right here, and so he comes down, and he'll teleport away from you, and he'll cast an attack. It says the words die. He'll cast 3 moves like that that apply different types of status ailments and corrupted blood and shock on you at different intervals. And basically, he does those die moves. This is the first phase. There's not too much else in the first phase, and then you have to run away, and kind of you just have to make these things away. But that was too hard for players, so TG nerfed it. And so, which to be fair was probably a good thing, because it made it really hard to run back. It was pretty frustrating. And so there we go. So he comes back down here. So what killed him? Let's look. So right here, this is probably one of the worst things in Cirrus. Cirrus is actually, in my opinion, a badly designed fight. But as you can see here, these little meteors are going to spawn right here. It's right underneath them. I hate that. I think it's fucking trash. But the reason why I don't like it is because it's mechanics obfuscate other mechanics. I don't like that. So we'll just move forward here, and so obviously goes back up in the air, and comes back down again, and obviously the side moves are pretty much those as well. He starts already obviously it's a lot harder than the last thing, but the fight shows you how it works early on.
will kill all our enemies.
You have to go through 3 different levels of this. Obviously, while you're running out of this, you have to make sure you don't accidentally stand in one of these or run through one of these. It does a tremendous amount of damage, degen damage. Then right here, he goes into like a 4 point thing where he channels an explosion here. The channeling of the explosion also does damage. Meanwhile, the actual real version of Sirius inside of this has a little bit of a white reflection on him. While all 4 of them spawn, he allows you to.
Good morning, everybody. Orange here with another War of the Visions video. And today we're going to talk about Valentine's Day here. For controversial Valentine's Day speaker.
I hear you. Brothers, save me.
For her little bit of embarrassing, I chose to go That's not terrible. She's bringing 6 spirit with 3 towards me. And then look at their resist. They're very, very similar. Both are very strong. Slash kind of invades the bag in other physical times, and then are kind of strong against magic. So I think statistically, she stacks up nicely to you are Zaza, the global first unit. And I think they both have 2 different roles that you fulfill that are the same. Now, of course, though, we have to look at her the actual war with this.
Stop! Come here!
Now, I want to start off
You cannot break me! Slowly impede me! Quickly, before he recovers!
I need help. Toss it.
Come on, fight!
A victory well
not like
earned.
S tier, but pretty entertaining as she is a musical unlike her magical counterpart. Okay, for support abilities, this is very interesting. This is where you're really going to be playing with what you are. She has knowledge of the spy. This is her job. A chance of being part of the battle. She has ways of decreasing her
At the village again.
which is cool, but being a fire rebel.
Stand against us! Jedi, bleed first!
Need a stem.
met the resident Night Sister, but unlike most, you're alive.
Hunter's knowledge, I think this is her other
Well,
variant.
lightsaber, no, don't hide it.
Accuracy plus 25.
That would explain your survival.
Also has
Who are you?
No one to fear. Just a traveler, studying the nature of extinct cultures, dead philosophers.
Study the Night Sisters?
I study many things. But yes, that Night Sister. She was only a child when the war came to this world. She had to watch her whole family perish.
What do you know about these ruins?
Ancient beyond belief. The Night Sister and her warrior kin were seduced by the power that lurks within. Avoid the room, or suffer the same fate.
It's interesting. Like her invasion stuff seems weird. This is weird. I don't think it's her best luck. Triple blind. This is a really good AoE ranged attack. 3-hit slasher. 25% chance with blind.
How long have you been here?
So if you're just like
Long enough. This world provided a sanctum when I was in need, shelter when I was weak, and enlightenment when I was lost in the dark.
Very poisonous attack. It is a 25
Right.
It is it only hits a bird just but 205% modifier, which is high, and then a 65% chance of poison on the target. Notice that it's 40% higher than normal, but it decreases this chance of decreases by 50%. Each time she's been hit up to 40. So if she's been hit twice, it will decrease back to this normal 45%. Something to keep in mind. She'll be very good at poison. But you know,
Yeah, I can't jump that high. Yeah, far.
Kill you
Yeah.
in order to poison them. You have killed them. Then when it's their turn again, after the bird's body at 1 HP, they will die of poison. It's like this back. Shadow hits. This is
How do you know so much about the Night Sister?
Observation. I've seen many things since coming here.
What does that mean?
Must it mean something?
That's powerful.
Too many great minds have gone astray in pursuit of order.
99 thirds.
I gotta get going.
Or until she's been hit twice. So if she's not
Take care on your journey,
she will have a 25% agility buff for the whole match. That is really, really strong. Also, she will get slash attack with 30 for 9,999 turns, or until she's been hit twice. So this is a really, really good buff. I like it a lot. And then Deadly Blind. This is a long-range single target attack range, 200% modifier with 50% chance to immobilize. If the target is immobilized, it will drop their single target resistance by 30. In a PvE situation, you already have the triple area slash, fire slash to be on your strong. Now, you have single target resistance up. If the monster can be immobilized, it will apply the immobilize first, then apply the single target resistance up after that. Very good attack with 200% modifier is a heavy scrub. Now, we're going to try to do some stuff. She has a draining attack. It's an AoE attack that moves around her in square. It absorbs 30% damage. Scales 150%. Okay. She also has a debuff.
This door's not budging.
Very long range.